Welcome back, everybody. Kevin with Everglades Canine Academy, and I have a new board and train in my kennel, and I'm going to start a video series with him for the next 2 weeks. His name is Enzo. He is a wired-haired Griffon. Some of the things we're going to be working on is his reactivity. So he does tend to get very excited with other dogs when he's on leash. I actually don't know if he wants to play or if there would be a scuffle. So I just call it reactivity in general. We're going to work on his obedience training. And one of the things I'm also going to be working on with him in this 2 weeks is him actually jumping into the trunk of a car, because he seems a little afraid to jump up in the car, and his parents like to take him a lot of places. So he needs to just be able to jump in the car. So, and that and some other things, but those are kind of the three main things I'm working on. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm not only going to introduce him, and he's only been at my house for maybe about an hour. I'm going to actually let my dog Hudson out, and I'm going to have Enzo on leash. And this is going to be the first time that they're actually meeting. We'll see if my dog Hudson sometimes gets very excited. I'm going to try to call him off, tell him to basically leave Enzo alone, and I'm going to keep Enzo on leash. My goal today is just to see their interactions. Enzo's parents told me that he does get you once he knows the dog, he's okay with the dog, right? So I do see that in other dogs. Is some dogs are reactive until they know the other dog, and then they're fine. I don't really know that for certain, but I am going to keep Enzo on leash in this session. Maybe a little later, once I've had time with Enzo and my dog Hudson, I'll feel comfortable leaving them off leash together, which I do try to get to, because it does make my life a lot easier when I can just let the dogs out in the yard and trust that they won't fight each other. But I'm going to kind of test the waters today, and I want to show you guys in real time, no cutting, no editing, how I basically do it. And really what it comes down to is just I'm going to keep Enzo on leash, and I'm very confident with my dog in getting him to dismiss. Sometimes Hudson gets a little excited and likes to run around and provoke play, but I will do my best to shoo him away. I'm basically trying to promote a calm environment for these two. It may get a little rowdy, but sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, and we will see what they do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let my dog Hudson out in the yard first. And he will probably free roam and smell and mark and do whatever dogs do. Then I'm going to go get Enzo and let Enzo out of the kennel. And I'm going to try to get everything on film as neatly as I can. But I'll also show you kind of how I get dogs out of the kennel as well, because I have a whole process of doing that. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Let's get these dogs out in the same yard, and let's go ahead and see if I can manage the situation. And just to tell you guys that this is always, you don't really know how the interactions are going to go until you actually just do it. So I'm going to try to feel it out. And I just want you guys to observe. I want you to observe and see how I do it. I'm fairly confident that I'll have success, and maybe I can get the dogs to normalize together really quickly. If I feel that Enzo is in over his head, I may pull the eject button, and I may get him back inside and try to warm him up a little better at a later date. But part of me thinks that dogs will never get over it if you avoid situations. So I'm practicing not all of my safety procedures. Sometimes I really wish that I had a muzzle for him. He didn't his parents didn't have a muzzle, and I don't have a muzzle ready for him, but I will have him on leash. And that is really like the number one tool that I need. And like I said, I have a lot of confidence in my dog, so that kind of puts me at an advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the camera up. You guys are going to come with me. So please, bear with me with this shaky camera. I'm going to let my dog out first. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and open the door and call him. Hudson, come on, outside. There he goes. There he goes. Hudson's already looking for Enzo. You just do nothing, bud. You just do nothing. Out. There we go. Get him to relax a bit. Let's go get Enzo now. So here I have, this is my kennel room. All right, fully air conditioning because we live in Florida and it's like super hot. So I have this nice glass door. It keeps all the cool AC inside for the dogs. And I have the kennels. So I actually practice doorway manners with this door and with the kennel door. Okay, and we're gonna kind of see. You're gonna kind of see how things go. I might actually keep you guys over here so you can kind of see Enzo coming out of the room. I have him in this first kennel right here. So it might be a little hard to see because let's see here. Let me see. Now I'm just kind of doing this, guys. So you gotta put up with me a little bit, but who cares, right? This is my YouTube channel. I can do what I want. Not one of those fancy content creators that cuts and edits and puts songs and everything. Just about the business. Let's actually bring you into the kennel room. See if I can you'll get a shot of my feet, but we'll see Enzo coming out. And what I'm going to do is I always like to shut this door when I let the dogs out. This way I have them contained in here. Okay? So I don't just let the dog out right away. Okay? I will kind of close the door on his face a little bit. I want him to respect the doorway manners. Good boy. Okay, no. Only until I say my release word. Yes. That's a good boy. There he is. There he is. Everybody meet Enzo. He's honestly a lovable dog. Look at how happy he is. But, I've seen him in my group class, and he can be a little bit reactive towards other dogs. So that's kind of what we're going to do in this session. Hi, buddy. All right, so what I'm going to use today is I'm going to use a slip lead, okay? So this will tighten up around his neck if he tries to pull. And this is all I really need to feel comfortable in the situation, okay? I'm just going to put it on the other way. I like to have it a specific way. Hi, buddy. Who's a good boy? Yeah. Hudson's already at the door, so what we're going to do, I'm actually going to try to leave Enzo in here real quick. There we go. See, Enzo's already out. See, Enzo's going crazy right now. Can you see him? So, not the best reaction that I want to see, but, a lot of barrier frustration when it comes to dogs. So we're going to see how he acts. Hopefully he doesn't bite me. Who's a good boy? All right. No, sit. Hudson, out. Enzo, sit. So I'm going to use a little leash pressure on Enzo because he's trying to blow off my command. So basically for sit, I'm pulling it straight up. He's a very strong dog. Enzo, sit. I'm just going to hold until he sits. There he goes. Now I'm going to release. So he's really, really fixated on my dog right now. He's actually shaking a little bit. Hey, snap out of it. Good boy. Just want to get him to look away. Hey. Hi. Good. No. There we go. He really blows off command. So I'm going to use my body. I feel the need to be a little more physical with Enzo because he's so big. Hey, leave it. There we go. Good. Good. Enzo, sit. All right, clearly he doesn't know obedience, right? So we're going to put a little pressure on him. Buddy, sit. There we go. Good boy. Yes. There we go. So you can see that he's a little afraid. I don't know if he wants to charge me. Hey, come on. Hudson, out. Get out of here. So Hudson's right behind the camera. And he's kind of like staring Enzo down a little bit. But Hudson wants to play. There we go. Look at Enzo kind of pulling a little bit. So I'm going to take you guys with me. Don't drag me to the ground now, Enzo. Here we go. Now we got both dogs in the yard. All right. There we go. I'm going to put the camera up right here. Enzo's kind of peeing over there. So I actually don't want my dog Hudson to meet Enzo. And Hudson's doing a really good job right now because he's basically just leaving Enzo alone. And that's what I want. Okay. All right. So Hudson, leave it. All right. Enzo's very, very excited. Are you excited? No. Out. Good boy. So dismissing my dog is very important. That's why I feel comfortable doing this, because Hudson's asking me, is it okay if I say hi? Is it okay if I play? And my answer to Hudson is no. It is not okay. I don't feel comfortable with it. Enzo's on high alert, right? The idea is like, I don't mind if they sniff where they've walked, all right? But really what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor this whole situation. Here they go, getting a little closer. A little butt sniffing, I'm okay with that. Okay. You good boys? Watching intently. My goal is to watch. I'm looking at my dog. I don't want Hudson to face Enzo. All right. I'm actually very comfortable with this interaction right now. Okay, I'm going to pull Enzo away. Come on, Enzo. This way. No, Hudson. See, like, and the energy goes up right away. The energy goes up real quick. Hey, leave it. Nope. I'm going to pull him away. Pull him away, let him shake it off. There we go. Good boy. So the way we start working with reactive dogs is you work threshold. All right, work threshold. What that means is if your dog is really reactive, you have to create a little bit of distance away from the other dogs or other dog and try to work in some sort of reward-based system with your dog while they're far enough away to where they're not distracted. Ideally, you're doing obedience training, but I really don't know how much obedience training that Enzo has. We can actually test that right now, and I can see. So like right now, he's just got his nose in the grass. I don't even know how much he'll pay attention to me and engage with me. Hey, get out. And, you know, Hudson wants to creep in and play, but I'm not going to allow that today, okay? Let's see. I'm going to give Enzo commands. I don't think he's going to be able to do them, but I'm not going to follow through at this time. So when you are training your dog, it's very important that you set them up for success. So if you're giving them a command, you want to make sure you know how to show them how to do that command if they don't listen to you. But I'm going to give you an example of failing at obedience training. And even if he does some of my commands, or at least one, I'm basically just going to tell him to sit. If he does one of the commands, I'm going to reward him for it. But I kind of have a feeling he's not going to, or I kind of have a feeling he doesn't know any of his obedience commands. All right, so I'm going to say his name, and I'm going to say the command sit. All right, Enzo, sit. All right, so no regard. He might not even know his name at this point. I'm not really sure. I'm sure he does, but you know, he is doing some sort of aversion. He probably sees Hudson, so he's digging in the grass a little bit. Enzo, sit. Good boy. There we go. Honestly, not too bad. Yes. And a little reward. All right. So good boy. Way to go. Did you do it? Let's see if you can do it again. Enzo, sit. Yes. All right. Look, now we're getting somewhere. You know what? Ye of little faith. I really didn't think Enzo would listen to me for that simple command, but he did, and that's always so exciting. Even though like sit is such like an easy command, but I work with a lot of dogs that are very green, and I'm very very proud of Enzo for doing that. And his reaction to Hudson hasn't been as big as I thought it would. So we're looking pretty good. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk around a little bit. All right. I'm going to try to stay in between them. Okay, I'm going to walk away. Come on, buddy. Good boy. I'm going to go to the end of the drain field over here. I'm going to let him sniff. All right. Good boy, Enzo. Now, a big part of dog training is just getting your dog to engage with you, to trust you. And there's a lot of things that you have to do to get that engagement and trust. With me, I don't really have the time to build a bunch of engagement with dogs, so I really rely on using food and hunger. All right. So, and there's really no secret to it. Some owners gasp when I tell them, but I don't really lie. And I just say, for 2 days, I might give your dog a little less food. And I might give your dog a little less food. And I really start training on the 3rd day. All right. And with that little bit of hunger comes a little bit more attention because I'm giving myself value. All right. Dogs are only interested in what's valuable at them in the moment. And the more we can, as owners and handlers, increase our value, aka have food when the dog is hungry, the faster we're going to be able to train them. All right, especially if we're using a reward-based system. All right, come on, buddy. Good boy. Yes, I might just start a little marker training right now. Right, we're using marker training. I'm going to load his marker, which is one of the easiest things to do. I basically just say yes and reward him. There he goes. He's perking up when he hears that word. Good boy, Enzo. Yes. Here we go. And I beg you guys, when you're working with food, get a food pouch. People always having like Ziplocs in their pocket and stuff. Just, it's not as good as having a food pouch. Yes. I'm going to mark and reward him for making eye contact with me. That is the name of the game right now. That's all I want him to do. The more that I can get Enzo to focus on me and not my dog Hudson, yes, the more successful he'll be. That's a good boy. Wow. Yes. There you go. Look at that little nubby tail wagging. All right. That's what I want. Great job. Yes. Good boy. Being very clear with my body language and my communication. Sit. Good. Yes. There we go. He wants to look at Hudson really quickly. That's okay. Hudson's right behind the camera right now. Hudson's right underneath the camera. Enzo's staring at him. All right. Let's try a little recall with Enzo. Enzo, come. Yes. Good, right? We're building success. And I wouldn't practice recall unless I have him on leash. No, leave it. No. Hudson, out. Dismissal. Learn how to dismiss your dog. Not enough people know how to do that. Good. Because Hudson's still curious. He loves other dogs and he wants to play with it. Sometimes he does want to fight other dogs. I'm not going to lie. But for the most part, I've gotten really good at dismissing him away from the situation. So he's my dog fully knows that I can handle the situation. So I just tell him to politely leave us alone and he walks away, no problem. And I've avoided many of dog scuffles with Hudson because I'm able to tell him to flee the general area. All right. And I also do that, like dismissal is very important. Like when we eat dinner, when I eat dinner, my dog Hudson, like every other dog, they want to sit right underneath the dinner table. All right. Basically, he would sit in my lap if he could, and he's like a 70-pound dog. But the appropriate thing to do in my house, and what I hope you guys do, is I actually kick Hudson out from under the table and I tell him to go lay down. All right. Or place in the corner. I give him a direction and a target, and I make him stay across the room from the dinner table. Good boy. And that dismissal really shows the hierarchy of who's in charge. Enzo's looking at Hudson, all right, which is fine. Hudson's laying down over there in his little dirt patch. Good boy. Enzo looks back at me, and I'm rewarding him, okay? Please, you guys, don't underestimate the power of doing nothing with your dog except for rewarding eye contact. All right, both these dogs now are at a nice, calm state. Good. This is the first step to me being able to have these dogs off leash together. Yes. And trust them, okay? All right. That's going to be good enough for today, you guys. I feel really comfortable. I want to welcome Enzo to this 2-week boot camp board and train. I think it's going to be a good time for him. He definitely has already shown me some really, really good obedience signs so far, and he was not as reactive as I anticipated. So I feel like we're already off to a good start. Once me and him bond a little bit more, we're going to start doing harder tasks. We're going to set him up for success, and I hope to bring you guys along for the whole ride. All right. So with that said, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you on the next video. Happy training as always. Yes.